everyone, and welcome to this Video Sans Frontières video. My name is Jay Wakefield, and today we're going to be taking a look at a computer that I'm actually fixing for a colleague of mine. Now, this machine is, well, it's getting on a bit in years. It's about 6 years old, and it's, well, I guess there's no other way to politely say this. It's an HP Compaq. Or rather, it's a Compaq that was made during Hewlett-Packard's regime. So, what I'm going to do on here, in this video, is we're actually going to restore it back to factory settings. Now, I've backed all the files and all the documents and what have you. I've temporarily backed them up to my server. So, that has all been done. So, there's going to be no personal files or what have you to attend to. So, with that said, let's actually take a look at the machine, actually. We'll do that, and I'll discuss with you, the specs of it, what it can do, or what have you, what's on it, what's in it. So, before we do any of that, let's take a wee tour of the machine. So, on the left side of the machine, we have a VGA port, Ethernet port, a USB 2 port, headphone and microphone sockets. That looks like an SD card reader. On the front, seems like it's featuring nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. On the other side of the machine, we have a DVD burner. At least I do believe that's what it is. 2 more USB 2 ports, and the power adapter, and a Kensington lock slot. So, not really too bad. Although, to be honest, I was expecting an HDMI port. Probably because a lot of machines are actually starting to come with HDMI out. If I remember rightly, my old CQ61 had an HDMI out. Then again, my CQ61 no longer works, so what are you going to do? Excellent. So, now let's get a look inside. Now, the first thing I will say is that mostly this machine is in smashing condition. And that is despite the fact that it's, I believe it's actually used by a couple of kids. It's, you expect laptops that have been used by kids to be in appalling condition, but this one's been absolutely... It's absolutely fine. There is, however, one exception to that, in that the V key on the keyboard is just completely dead. I mean, the key itself works, but there's just no travel. I've tried going under it with an air duster to see if it's any kind of foreign bodies lodged in there. But no, I think it's just a case of the switch mechanism, if you want to call it that, has collapsed. I'm guessing this has got scissor switches in it. But yeah, it just seems to be totally the key feels dead. I mean, it works, like I said, but I think sometimes it can it's a bit too easy to actuate it. James, what's up? Can he speak today? Oh, hi guys. No. It's quite embarrassing. Problem with these glossy screen laptops, you get to see scary monsters on them. Anyway, with all that said, what I'm going to do is I am going to plug in a mouse and we are going to go straight into the recovery program. Now, I have recovered this before, but I'll tell you actually about it once we power on and I'm able to kind of show you. Press 11 for system recovery on these HP machines. Now, what HP have done, as well as providing an image recovery, which basically restores the system back to the factory settings or what have you, including the bloatware, I might add, what you also have the option of doing is an advanced system restore, which basically will install the machine, but only with the HP stuff. You know, anything branded by HP, and anything to do with any of the hardware. So you'll still get the CD burning programs, the media authoring programs. I think it comes with a DVD player. You still get that as well, but you don't get any of the third-party stuff that would normally come preloaded in the Windows installation. Now, props to HP for actually implementing that, because that's really quite a good feature. I used it on my, oh dear. I used it on my CQ61. Caution, your computer is currently running on battery power. Oh, whoopsie! Until if you plug the NG. There we go. Right, let's let me see if it's actually powered on by the plug. Yep, the charging light is on. That's good. Good thing that that program actually warns you that this is a thing, because you really don't want to be restoring your machine back to factory settings and have the battery go flat halfway, because it'll render the machine, or at least it'll render the partly done Windows install to be forever partly done and therefore broken. Now, the problem on this with the advanced restore is that, believe it or not, I actually found it to be a lot slower than the original install. So what I'm going to do is go back and, you know, just kind of do a standard image recovery. Another problem is this machine comes with Microsoft Office 2010. It comes with the, you know, it actually comes with Microsoft Office Starter 2010, which, you know, when you set it up, it gives you an option to actually buy or activate, you know, a home edition of Office 2010 or whatever version you've bought a key for or what have you, or you can purchase it directly on Microsoft's website, or, and they only did this for Office 2010, Microsoft offered an ad-supported Starter Edition, which included Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel 2010. A lot of the features were stripped, but at least you had the basics. And, you know, I guess this is what Microsoft did to replace Microsoft Works, you know, at least for a while. And actually, I quite liked it. I think it was a brilliant thing to do. You know, you had Microsoft Word on your computer, but there was always the option of upgrading if you needed that. But if you didn't, if you just needed a simple word processor, you could use basically a light, if you will, edition of the same word processor that you're most likely to be using in the office. Anyway, Microsoft System Restore, we can do that. System Recovery, minimize the image recovery. So what I'm going to do is just go to System Recovery, recover without backing up the files, because I backed all my stuff up. Warning, if you do choose to try and do this with your own HP or Compaq computer, or Quick Restore any machine, then be aware that unless you take steps to back your data up to something like a flash drive or an optical disk, or to another machine on your network, as I've done, you will lose them, and I cannot be held responsible for any loss or damage to data, equipment, career opportunities, hairstyles, etc., etc., that may have been incurred from your following this video. I have actually taken the steps to back up the files, but I've already said that 500,000 times. Please detach all external devices before you continue. Mouse, I do believe, is fine. So yeah, that's that's this system restore, system recovery started. Now the standard system recovery takes, I want to say, about 50 minutes to half an hour. The minimized image recovery takes longer. I believe what the system recovery does is gets a pre-made image and just plops it on the first partition of the hard drive. What the minimized image recovery does is to actually automate the installation procedure of Windows 7 and then install the basic selection of applications and drivers itself. So, that would work more like a WinPrep kind of image recovery, the sort that you might see on a Packard Bell machine, or even something like a ThinkPad. Anyway, instead of yammering on and letting you guys basically watch this take its time, I'm going to head off, and I will come back once this part of the restore is done, and we'll take a look at, we'll actually go and take a look at the software that you actually get as standard on one of these HP Compaq CQ57 machines. Okay, so I'm back, and the recovery is complete. So next thing I need to do now is click whatever button I just clicked, and then the machine will restart, and hopefully we'll go into Windows 7 for the first time. Setup is preparing your computer for first use. It shouldn't take too long, actually. I think what it will do as well is run a Windows Experience benchmark test as well. I know that that's done generally before Windows 7 starts up in a usable state for the first time. Oh, here we go. So this is the out of the box experience for the Compaq CQ57. And I must say, I actually do prefer the red to the orange that the CQ61 had. Okay, so everything is set for UK keyboard layout. UK locale. And I'm just going to type the person's name in who'll be using this machine. I'll do this off camera, so I'm not identifying anyone unduly. Okay, now we just need to accept the Microsoft and I'm guessing this is the yeah, the HP license agreement. I think that's what it is anyway. And we're going to use recommended settings, but I do have a very nice quick way of updating Windows 7 that I'm actually going to show you all. Because what we're going to do now is basically we're actually going to set the machine up, you know, at least perform the basic setup functions. I've actually got to do some work on a printer as well, but I'm not going to do that on camera. But we're not going to connect to a wireless network either because, you know, quite frankly, you know, I prefer to do things wired when I can. So I have put I have put an Ethernet wire into the side of this machine, so that not only can I get faster internet, but I can also get things off of my server faster, as in this person's document. So what Windows is doing now is setting up a final few things. Now, if this were a vanilla Windows 7 install, the next thing I would see is a desktop. Unfortunately, however, because it's an OEM install, there are things that HP has set the machine to do before showing you the desktop for the first time. A case of crossing the T's and dotting the lowercase j's. It's actually quite funny. A criticism I got on my Flat Tour video was I didn't do any funny voices. So, damn it, Mr. Road Geek. This one's for you. Damn it, Billy. It's not always possible to do a silly voice in the radio. I'm trying to find the opportunities in which it's appropriate. In that sense, things just keep getting harder and harder. So now we get to see a nice animated dodgy letter Q. Oh, here we go. Welcome to your new HP computer. Get started, or you can continue setup without being connected. Apparently it's saying it's not connected to the internet. Oh, no. What this actually does, I completely forgot, it actually runs updates on the setup procedure. Okay, so this is a registration screen. Make your PC up to date. Keep your PC up to date. Keep your PC running fast with automated tune-up. No, remind me later. Join the HP improvement program. No. No, do not install my utilities. My arch nemesis would prefer to install his utilities. Yes, I'm sure I don't want to install Norton Internet Security. Oh, look, there's Skype. Isn't that really nice? We have some Skype. Okay, we can... Yep, so here's the summary screen for setup. Register. Nope, we've not done that. Stay updated. Protect your PC. Nope. Internet services. And on the protect your PC, whatever you say, Compaq, whatever you say. Anyway, I'm just going to get started here. And yeah. So now this is going to actually create the user account. I love how this dialog box has been with us since the Active Desktop in Active Desktop update came out in 1997. And I'm not sure that I've ever caught it in Windows 10, but I know I've caught it in Windows 8.x. Okay, so now we're actually... we're at the desktop background at least. Oh, now we're actually at the desktop. So this is the OEM desktop that actually comes with this machine. It's, I'm not sure, I mean, I'm really not sure how it's going to come out, but according to my phone's display with which I'm using to film this video, this is very red. It's not actually that red in person. This is kind of a rose colour. It's not as loud as the red, but it still gets a wee bit wearing. And actually, I can set the desktop background that was on here. So, let's actually have a look at this Windows installation. So what do you get on your 2010 Compaq CQ57? Well, like I said before, you do get Office Starter 2010. Now, I know what you're all expecting me to do at this point. You're all expecting me to launch into my speech about how, oh, software bundles aren't anywhere near as good as they used to be, and oh, isn't it bad we don't have a work suite anymore? Why can't you actually get some good software with machines, and blah blah blah, this, that and the next thing. Well, I'm going to try and be a wee bit more upbeat about this one. Don't know how that's going to go. I mean, I understand that computers, the role of computers has changed a lot since personal computers first started coming into the home. But I will say this. It's okay that, you know, you're not going to be getting a software bundle worth over £300 or whatever it is anymore, you know, on modern computers, because a lot of people don't want that. What I don't like is it being... what I don't like about machines is that they're quite often laden down full of bloatware. You know, things like the Wild Tangent games, things like a trial of an antivirus program. I mean, that is something that I think would be useful. You know, I mean, I know everyone's got a different idea of what the best antivirus program is, but, you know, and some people nowadays just use Windows Essentials and get along fine with that. I mean, I would always use an antivirus program, so maybe offer a voucher, you know, when you buy a machine. I mean, okay, not saying like the very cheaper ones, but certainly, you know, give the customer a voucher to go out and choose, you know, buy an antivirus program of their choosing or go towards it. Anyway, what's happening now is I'm actually setting up Microsoft Office Starter 2010, and that's the thing that's going to make me upbeat about this video, about this software bundle, the fact that you do get that. So, you know, thumbs up to HP for actually putting this on here. So, here we are. Office Starter appears to be set up. The machine seems to be taking its time a bit. Default file types, Office Open XML formats. That's what we'll go for. That's kind of the standard. So I like that, you know, you've always got Word or Excel at your disposal, but if you need to, it is entirely possible to actually upgrade to a more full-featured version of Office. So, you know, you could literally go here and then actually buy or activate Microsoft Office if, you know, if you've got a key. So I kind of like that, you know, I genuinely do. I think that's brilliant. What I've done is I've just went and restarted Word 2010 Starter just so you can see it in its ready to use state. So you have only a couple of tabs on this, whereas you know, in a full featured version of Word you'd have a lot more and a lot more advanced options. But it is said that most people only ever use, I think, 20%, if that, of the features of Microsoft Office. So this is about as much Microsoft Word as a lot of people will need. You know, and you have all the essentials, like the ability to create tables, which is something that Microsoft Works was not actually that good at. You could do it, but not intuitively like you can in Microsoft Word. You've even still got the shapes. You can make shapes, hyperlinks, headers, footers, page numbers, word art, symbols, date and time, and you've got your page layout options, and even mailings. That's quite good. So it's got most of what you need. I mean, it doesn't have things like well, I mean, I can't see it. I mean, stop me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't seem to have things like referencing or the preview modes or what have you. But so what? Most people don't even use that stuff. So, you know, Office Starter is, you know, it's fantastic. It's just a shame that Microsoft killed it. I genuinely like it. I think it was a fantastic idea. What they do have now is if you've got a tablet that's 10.1 inches or smaller, it might be but slightly below 10.1 inches, you can get Microsoft Office on it and run it for free. Let me just kind of show you the rest of everything that is on here. So you've got CyberLink UCam. I'm guessing that is kind of webcam software, and enhances your webcam, lets you use silly effects and what have you. You know, that's quite cool. You know, if you're into that thing, that's quite cool. So that's okay. E-readers and document viewers, Bleo. Okay. We have a thing called Kindle. Yeah, that's not going to work so well. HP help and support, that's all the stuff to do with this machine. Microsoft Office Starter, just installed that. Music, photo and video. I like the way that this is kind of categorized, a lot like Packard Bell started doing during the NEC era. Music, photos and videos. Rara Music, Snapfish Photos. Don't know what they are. Seems a bit bloatware-y to me. Productivity and tools, Evernote. Everything seems to come with Evernote, even back then, and I just never, you know, I need to give it a go, because it came on my Transformer, but I deleted it because it was taking up too much space. Because 32 gig eMMC SSD, yeah. Norton Internet Security. You know, at this time Norton was still a bit of a hog, so, you know, first thing I would do is just get rid of it, just off. The newer versions of Norton are not bad, but I don't like a piece of software being installed onto a machine that's only trialware and that really has difficulty being removed. So no, that's not okay. Microsoft Silverlight, that's good. Yep. I lost my place. Shopping and services. Visit ebay.co.uk. I could understand that being on the desktop, but why in the start menu? I mean, it's kind of good that they've given a shortcut there, because, you know, I guess it's convenient for a lot of people. You know, a lot of people would probably appreciate that. Then, of course, there's Windows Live Mesh and Windows Live Writer. In fact, the whole Windows Live caboodle is installed on here. I'm not going to berate HP for that, because, I mean, that was useful back then. So, there you go. I mean, here's the software that you actually get with this thing. So, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to install the Revo uninstaller, remove all of the extraneous stuff that way, and I'm also going to use the Norton removal tool to uninstall Norton Internet Security. So I will be right back. So here it is. Whoops, I've just started the wrong program. Good start there, Jay. Okay, this will remove Norton Internet Security, Backup, Anti-Spam 2004 and 2005, Antivirus 2003 through 2014, that's perfect. Ghost 2003, go back 3.1 through 4.2, blah 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 blah, and all that good stuff. So what I'm going to do is just click next, accept the licensing agreement, and what I'm going to do now is 576TN. That's, you've got to put in a captcha to remove it, which I can completely understand, because I mean, that would be, I mean, this would be perfect for viruses to, you know, download and run this and just do it automatically. Be like, you know, kind of a simplified way of doing things is like, oh, well, why don't we just, you know, like, remove the antivirus software? So it's a good thing that you put the captcha in there. So it makes it more difficult for programs to be able to do such a thing. So what's going to happen is everything related to Norton Internet Security will be removed. And what I will do then is I will actually, I think what I'll do first, you know, after I've done this, is to install, is to actually update Windows 7, and that's where I get to show you the, what Microsoft has done to make it easier for this to be a thing. So, with that in mind, I'll be right back when Norton's been removed. And now Windows has restarted and has opened up Microsoft Internet Explorer 9. So that's kind of nice that that was installed on here. Anyway, let's actually install some updates to this system. Now, I could run Windows Update and update Windows 7 that way, and then wait for about a year and a half while it fails to actually get a list of updates from the server, from the Windows Update server. But what Microsoft did earlier this year, they actually released a cumulative update from Service Pack. Well, what it does is it will take Windows 7 from Windows 7 Service Pack 1. So you have to be on Service Pack 1, which I am. It will actually update it from Windows 7 Service Pack 1 RTM, as it were, to, you know, kind of something that was, you know, all the updates up to, I believe, the spring of this year. I mean, obviously there's still probably going to be updates to install after that, but hopefully there will be a lot less. So what I've done is I've actually downloaded the redistributable version of this cumulative update and plonked it onto my server. Now, before you install this cumulative update, you have to install the April 2015 update stack, or servicing stack, which I also have downloaded in a redistributable format. So all I need to do is run setup for this update, and, you know, then the April 2015 servicing stack will be installed. It really doesn't take too long to install that. Then I just start installing Windows 7 Service Pack 1 convenience roll-up. Well, at least that's what I've called it here. I think that was a brilliant thing for Microsoft to do, because it certainly makes rebuilding Windows 7 installations much easier and quicker. I'm being asked, do you wish to install the following Windows software update? KB, whatever it is, I really can't read that from here. Yes, I do. So that's going to, you know, run the download and install updates program and install the servicing stack. That's the servicing stack from April 2015 installed. Now to install the convenience roll-up. So here we are quite a bit later, and Ninite is now installing stuff. So I really don't know what web browser is used on here, but I'm going to recommend Internet Explorer not be one that is used. And to be honest, probably neither should Chrome at the moment on Windows, but I've installed it along with Firefox and Opera Chromium, you know, to make so that my colleague has a choice of which browser to use. Also installing Adobe Air, Microsoft Silverlight, Flash for Internet Explorer, Flash, Java, Shockwave, 7-Zip, which I use at the moment, you know, for extracting files. Revo uninstaller. I'm actually going to be using that in a bit to get rid of this bloatware that's on the machine. VLC Media Player, Skype, going to update Evernote to the latest version. Same with Acrobat Reader. iTunes, I'm going to install that. Don't know if they use it or not, but it'll be there. .NET, I think that's 3.5. .NET 4.6.2. PDF Creator, Spybot 2, Avast, and Adaware. Okay, so now we are in Revo Uninstaller. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to use it to uninstall some of the bloatware on this machine. Now, I could use the Programs and Features control panel applet, but to be honest, what Revo does is it will run the uninstaller and then look for any files that may have been left behind. So it actually properly cleans the program up from the system. So I'll show you how I would go about doing it with the Bing bar. That's quite a relatively small thing. You see, and this actually does it in such a way that that is actually quite sensible. First off, it goes about creating a system restore point, which for some reason takes quite a while. And then it will ask you, you know, if you want to uninstall a program, using the default uninstaller, you know, and you'll go and do that. And it'll ask if you want to clean up all the files, and you can do an advanced clean, which really kind of deep cleans it, or a moderate clean. Moderate clean should be fine for most things. So here we go. Windows installer. Are you sure you want to uninstall this product? Yeah, and then it goes. Yeah. So it's analysing and starting the program's built-in uninstaller for the default uninstall. After the program's uninstaller is finished, press the scan button to start scanning for leftover files, folders, and registry items. So you've got safe, which will basically, you know, includes built-in mode and performs additional scans in the registry and the hard drive. I think moderate kind of does more of a deep clean, and advanced really kind of clutters the hard drive, searching for, you know, bits of the program that's still left over. That's kind of useful if you're trying to completely uninstall a problematic program from your computer. Now hopefully, you know, kind of running this, I should hope to actually make the system a wee bit faster. I definitely want to get rid of these things. These things are horrible. And why do we need these custom launchers, HP? Why? And every other OEM. I'm glad that's something that they don't really do anymore. I've not seen it on, believe it or not, where we really did kind of need some kind of a custom launcher was Windows 8. And guess what? By then, nobody included them anymore, which actually I'm quite glad about. In fact, I think, I mean, it's like, you know, at work, you know, we're a volunteer, rather. You know, we've got some, you know, pretty recent machines. And you know, I think the bloatware, you know, while it is definitely still very much a thing, it's not as bad as once it was. You know, certainly, you know, they seem to have cut back on it a wee bit. So what's happening now is I'm actually going to this program is just basically uninstalling itself, and I think it's nearly done. So the Bing bar has been uninstalled. So what I'm going to do now is scan, and that's now going looking for files related to the Bing bar. It's found some found leftover registry items. Yep, that seems perfectly legitimate. Click finish. Are you sure that you want to skip the deletion of found leftover registry entries and continue to the next step? No. Oh, I'm supposed to press the delete button. Oh, that's what that is. So there we go. That's the Bing bar removed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do these for a few programs. I'm going to do this for Below, the older version of Evernote, HP Launchbox, HP Quick Launch, and Magic Desktop. We don't need that. Nobody needs that. Not actually much needs to be removed on here either, to be honest. But you know, I will. I'm gonna get it all cleared out, and then, you know, hopefully the machine will be a wee bit quicker. So the hard disk in this machine is a Toshiba 500GB drive. Brilliant. Toshiba is pretty good now with hard drives. And as for the rest of this system, well, it's got an AMD E300 APU clocked at 1.3 GHz, which probably explains why it's quite slow. Also, it's got 4 gigs of RAM, of which 3.6 is usable. The rest is shared with the graphics, which is on the CPU. So there you have it. So with that said, you know, I've done quite a bit with this laptop. All I really need to do now is just kind of uninstall the rest of that junk that I said I was going to uninstall, and restore all the files that I backed up to it, and then, you know, sort out the printer problem, and then that machine should be ready to actually get back to its owner. So with that said, I'd like to thank you all for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please feel free to subscribe to my channel and to like Video Tom Frontier on Facebook. Also, please feel free to follow me on Twitter. But in the meantime, thank you for watching, and please join me for my next video. Bye!